Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rudy McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Patriarch Theophilos III of the Orthodox Church of Jerusalem has recalled the responsibility of Christians to be peacemakers and seek justice. In an interview with L'Osservatore Romano, the head of the church said the bombing of the historic Gaza Church of St. Porphyrios had a significant impact on the Christian population in the Holy Land. The bombing last week resulted in the deaths of 18 Christians. Meanwhile, UNICEF and 4 other UN agencies have called for unhindered access across Gaza to save lives in the face of the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. In a joint statement, the UN Children's Fund, the UN Development Programme, the UN Population Fund, the World Food Programme and the World Health Organization warned that children are the ones suffering the most in the war. The war has claimed over 4,500 lives so far, and a third of the casualties are children. A report submitted to the United Nations General Assembly reveals that Russian troops committed indiscriminate attacks and war crimes in Ukraine, including torture, rape, and the deportation of children to the Russian Federation. The United Nations Commission of Inquiry on Ukraine made a note of the attacks in the cities of Umran and Kherson, among other places. The Commission also said there was new evidence that Russian authorities committed violations of international human rights and international humanitarian law and corresponding crimes in Ukraine. Russia has vehemently denied carrying out crimes against humanity or targeting civilians in Ukraine. A Christian girl abducted by Boko Haram militants in Nigeria 5 years ago is still in captivity. That's according to the pontifical charity Aid to the Church in Need. Leah Sharibu was only 14 when she was abducted by the militants on February the 19th in 2018. It's reported that she has given birth to her 3rd child in captivity. She was taken along with 110 other girls from the Government Girls Science and Technical College in Yobe State in northeastern Nigeria. While the other girls were gradually released, Leah was kept in captivity as she refused to renounce her Christian faith. Pope Francis will offer the customary Mass in St. Peter's Basilica on November the 3rd in commemoration of the souls of all cardinals and prelates who passed away in the past 12 months. This was announced by the Office of Liturgical Celebrations. During the Mass, the Pontiff will specially remember Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, who passed away on December the 31st last year at the age of 95. The Mass will be offered at the altar of the Chair of St. Peter at 11 a.m. local time. A federal judge in the United States has temporarily overturned Colorado's law banning abortion pill reversal treatments. This will now allow a Catholic healthcare facility and other similar healthcare providers to continue the reversal treatment without any hindrance. US District Judge Daniel Domenico granted Bella Health and Wellness a preliminary injunction against the state's restriction on the process that can undo the effects of a chemical abortion. The judge said that the Colorado statute outlawing the so-called pharmaceutical abortion reversal procedure probably goes against the provision of religious freedom in the American Constitution. The Colorado law banned various Catholic healthcare providers from giving progesterone, a natural hormone, to women who underwent the first procedure of a chemical abortion but wished to keep their unborn child. With the judge's order, the law banning abortion pill reversal treatments is on hold until the case can be adjudicated. An Iranian teenager who was allegedly attacked by morality police for violating the nation's hijab law is reported as being brain dead. Earlier this month, 16-year-old Armita Geravand was seen being dragged out of a metro coach unconscious by morality police. According to state media, Garavand's injuries resulted from a dip in blood pressure that caused her to faint and strike her head on a hard surface in the coach. Days after the incident, the Kurdish human rights group Hengal released a photo of her in a coma. The rights group alleges that the teen was physically assaulted. However, authorities have refuted this allegation. Meanwhile, Iran's judiciary handed out lengthy prison terms to 2 women journalists who were arrested for covering the death of Mahsa Amini last year. According to the judiciary's Mizan online website, 36-year-old Elahe Mohammadi and 31-year-old Nilafar Hamedi were found guilty of working with Iran's enemy, the United States. In a joint statement, 51 countries voiced concerns to the United Nations over the human rights violations against Uyghurs in the Xinjiang region of China. This comes in response to China's election to the UN Human Rights Council for the 2024 to 2026 term. Over the past years, several human rights organisations have criticised China for unjust imprisonment, increased arrests and protracted prison terms in the Xinjiang area. Former inmates and those familiar with the conditions at detention facilities have detailed instances of rape and other sexual violence, along with the torture and inhumane treatment of Muslims. More than 1 million Uyghurs are reportedly housed in these camps. Meanwhile, China has always refuted the allegations. In recent years, India has seen an alarming increase in incidents of violence intended exclusively against the Christian population. This has been reported by religious freedom watchdog Release International. A growing number of Christians are imprisoned under anti-conversion laws, despite the widespread denial of the surge in anti-Christian violence. Since the beginning of the year, the United Christian Forum has registered 525 violent assaults across India. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Stockton in California has issued a warning to its congregations, urging them to be wary of persons appearing as Spanish-speaking bishops and priests. These impostors have been accused of charging high prices for a variety of religious services, including supposed sacramental celebrations, educational courses, and issuing certificates. The diocese's proactive response seeks to safeguard the faithful from falling victim to fraudulent operations. Recently, impostors in Mexico have been seen impersonating priests and illicitly performing baptisms, confirmations, first communions, and home blessings. A 450-year-old cross was found vandalised in Spain's city of Seville on Sunday. Condemning the attack against the historical cross of St. Lazarus, the city's mayor, José Luis Sanz, announced that an investigation has been launched. The cross, located near San Lorenzo Hospital, was brought to Plaza de Santa Marta at the beginning of the 20th century. It was designed by Renaissance architect Hernán Ruiz II in 1564. One side of the cross has the crucified Christ, and the other has an image of Our Lady standing at the foot of the cross. U.S. District Judge Daniel Domenico issued a preliminary injunction that says the state of Colorado can't stop Darren Patterson Christian Academy from participating in its universal preschool program. The judge said the academy can participate in the preschool program paid for by taxpayers, and it cannot be penalised for having religious policies that might be against the state's non-discrimination laws. He stated that leaving out a daycare is inherently anti-universal, and that not letting someone participate because of their protected speech or views was not fair. Meanwhile, lawyer Jeremiah Gallus of the Alliance Defending Freedom, appealing for the school, praised the decision of the judge, saying that the government cannot force religious schools to abandon their beliefs. Bernardino Superior Court issued a preliminary injunction against the Chino Valley Unified School District Board of Education's policy that requires students to disclose their gender identity. This stops the board from enforcing the policy. It is said that schools had to tell parents whenever a student requested permission to use a name or pronoun that wasn't on their birth certificate or official records. Schools would be compelled to inform parents even if the student didn't want to do so. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again next time for more. And do remember, in the meantime, you can always go to swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.